Hey, can I get a ride?
Come on. You're the cutest hitchhiker I've seen in a while.
Except he won't let me on the four-wheeler.
Hey guys, welcome back to K&S Get Out. Today's an exciting day. This was actually not planned. Well, kinda.
Well, it was sort of planned, but we didn't know it was gonna happen today.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom on the phone earlier and another call came through. It was a local number. The folks that we hired to do the survey gave us a call and they're ready to meet us out here. So we've been out here for a little bit with him. He's tried to find one of the corner posts already, or pins, having a little bit of tough time, so he needs to try to find another one. He said, well, how do we get to the back of the property? I said, you go that way. And I drove him about halfway back, but we're gonna show you something we haven't even really revealed to you guys yet because it's not quite ready.
Yeah.
But Shannon and I are gonna try to take the four-wheeler through and go meet him. He's coming in from the interstate side, allegedly. He don't wanna try to cut through the woods. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
So we're gonna hop on the four-wheeler, check out these trails. Don't judge us yet. They're not finished, but they're coming along great.
They're a work in progress.
Yeah. Let's go meet him back at the other corner and see if we can't find that official post.
The pin. We're looking for the pin.
So this is the entry point. Hopefully you didn't see exactly where it is because it's top secret. Just kidding.
The entry point's a little bit tough right now.
Yeah, I need to cut it a little differently. I came in blindly on the skid steer.
Basically, he was worried we were too far over on the property line, so he went in. And I think we're okay now, but definitely a little bit of a tight turn whenever
I got lost.
when we first come in.
Like I legitimately got lost and I was kind of panicking because I had the bucket. I didn't even have the brush cutter on, I had the bucket. And I was just pushing little trees. I mean, I couldn't see anything. And I just thought, well, if I keep going this way, no. Then I ran into some barbed wire at the back of the property, only that's not actually where I was.
I think if we can just find a point to turn left, then we do it.
Man, water just sits back here.
Yeah. What about right here?
Well, then where? Let me go a little bit further. I think it gets just a little bit thinner.
Okay.
Right in here. Duck head. May have to walk the rest of it because we can get out right there. Are you still with us? Sorry if I threw you off the back of the four-wheeler. We've not actually brought this all the way back here
We
yet.
have not brought this all the way back here. We probably should have brought a chainsaw with us.
A chainsaw? That would have been smart. I brought my hatchet. Can we cut down a whole oak with a hatchet?
No.
All right, so it is gonna be a little bit louder with highway noise because we're at the very back of the property. We had to come in a little ways from the corner, so I'm gonna see if I can find him or if he was able to get back here. Like I said, I don't know if he was just gonna do a, what do they call them? Texas speed bumps off the highway? You just create your own exit ramp.
I didn't know that's what that was called.
Look how gorgeous this is, man. There's some dead ones back here. I tried to keep an eye out for any widowmakers as we were coming through and didn't want to park under them or ride under them.
Are you all set? You have everything you need?
This should get us through, right? I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm thinking about marking. I got some of those flags that came with that measuring wheel. I'm thinking about throwing one of these in right where we come out.
That's a good idea.
It may be hard to get back to the four-wheeler.
That's a good idea, actually. That makes sense.
Actually, hey, there he is.
Hey, look.
He's looking at us like, you crazy people. Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
but we're used to this. I don't just step over big trees like you do. This tree right here, I literally just stepped over it.
You want me to move it?
It comes up to over my knees. I don't step over things like that.
Do you want me to cut it down for you?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it is down. Do you want me
It is
to
down.
Cut it up for you?
Yeah.
We'll be here for a little bit.
Get to it.
All right, so he's trying to find our corner post. Like I said, whenever we came in that trail, Shannon and I had to go a little bit off the property line toward the center of our property to find the clear enough spot to come back here. This is the easement where the power lines run through. Then there's another line of trees and then a hill that goes down to the interstate on the other side. So this is my handiwork so that we don't lose the four-wheeler. Because once you get out here, look the other direction, start walking, you will completely forget where you came out at. There are two big poles right here. Kind of use that as a reference. And I think that's all your coralberry plants, kind of like we have up in Goatville.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to soak this in. We got a Christmas tree right behind you. And these down trees, and this, I should be able to see that from over on the other side of this little ditch here.
All right.
Something dead back here.
Yeah.
Can you smell that?
A little bit.
Is your COVID nose?
A little bit.
It's real bad when you get back into the corners where farmers throw their dead cattle.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never thought about that.
5 or 6 of them.
Dang.
I bet that is bad.
Sure, they don't warn you about it either.
Well, usually it's, someone else's, you just going back in to find a corner. So this is on your line right there.
That
Oh,
flag,
perfect.
or that spot where you're at right there.
Yeah, this is on the line.
I like this guy, he's really nice. Kind of a shy guy, so we're probably not gonna stick the camera in his face, but when I was in college, I was studying civil engineering. Didn't even know what it meant at the time. I was just really good at math, and I was like, oh, I gotta do some kind of engineering. Long story short, did an internship in the summers and in the winter doing some land surveying for Missouri Department of Transportation. Great experience. At the time I learned that I didn't want to be out in the 103-degree days in the summertime and the -3-degree days in the wintertime. So land surveying wasn't quite for me. Now here we are back coming out here on 103-degree days.
Yeah.
And loving every minute of it. Okay, so he found the other corner post because he was having a tough time getting his equipment to kind of read right on the front one. The folks to the north of us, they just had their survey done. It wasn't these guys, but the whole system works together. It's basically GPS, so anybody can access it. So he's very easily able to find the 2 corner posts that they just did a couple weeks ago. So now we're gonna go back up front, and he's gonna give us some more of the southern property line. Hey, if you're here from the Walkers, by the way, we picked up a lot of subscribers. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining. We really hope you enjoy it, but this is Shannon and I learning how to be homesteader / farmer country folk, and it's been a blast. So thanks for coming by, and we hope you stick around. Okay, let's go meet him.
Okay.
So that's it right there, huh?
That'd be on your line right there.
Hey, you know what? We could just walk down through Goatville.
We can walk through Goatville.
Yeah.
So it's, those are unused because line's right in here.
Let me grab, I got some of those little cheap flags.
It's amazing that you can keep those. I mean, they strip the bark off the trees.
I know, I'm nervous and excited. Okay, I would be curious, because that used to be a dam. We said this is a pond. I would be curious, we should be in a ways, aren't we?
Yeah. It's gonna be. Do you want one in here? I mean,
What do you think, babe? I wanna find out,
It would be nice to know.
find out if that dam is on our side or his.
Yeah.
you want a steak?
Whatever's easy for you. I'm gonna save the steaks. Probably do some steaks over there. Thanks, sir. So that's good.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
We're
That's
getting
good.
better. So that means the whole trail that we cut in out here, babe, is in.
Yeah, you're
It's in
probably
our
good.
property line.
I'll probably, if you're okay with that, I'd probably still go up there where we cleared. And just check that spot, 'cause that should be the furthest over we've gone.
This is why I don't lead the way, because I go so slow. Sorry.
You also like for me to take out the spider webs normally.
That too.
Okay, so we're definitely still in here because we were over there on that line, I think.
Well, and there's the dam.
Yeah, it's saying 33 feet, but I don't have pics yet, but
Okay.
it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I think that dam runs fairly perpendicular or parallel to the property line. Great news. We didn't cut any brush on my neighbor's property. I got a little nervous when we first started this.
Yeah, there's an old fence line running right here.
He said there was fence off and on, but we had never seen it.
Well, there's not much of it. But
Yeah. No telling how long ago that was.
They also told us they have some trails through here, and this looks like this is one of them.
If we don't need anything
I think we're good.
Free and...
all right. Whenever we get the drawing done, we'll give you a call.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Survey says...
Great news!
No, it is great news. But the survey literally says we have not cut any property that is not ours. I didn't think we had, and I had talked to the neighbors and we had some reference points to go off of, but when we found that first corner post over here, it was actually some of the land that we thought was our neighbors was actually ours.
Yeah.
Kind of common out in the country. Most of you guys are familiar with that. But the folks up to the north of us, their fence line is definitely on their side of the property line. So we
By
don't,
a foot.
yeah, we don't need to worry anything about that. And if when we put a fence up on ours, we'll put it inside just a little bit too. But we did pick up a few new oaks that I thought were the neighbors. And one of them, it is a gorgeous, massive tree. It's not going anywhere. It's a part of the...
It's a part of Shady Acres.
Part of Shady Acres. It's part of the curb appeal for sure. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So unless there's a massive wood shortage and we can make millions of dollars, then it might have to go down.
That's the only exception.
There we go. You heard it.
The only.
Well, this is wonderful, guys. We weren't too worried about it till we got to thinking about where we were and cutting down in here for the goat panel and everything, but turns out it's all good. This was another one that we did have to wait. We scheduled this months ago, and they gave us an estimated date. But then we rented the skid steer and I was like, I can't wait. I would love to have the survey before we did what we did, but we didn't, and we did well enough to stay on our property.
Luckily, we're in the clear.
Yeah, we think things through sometimes. Just sometimes.
Yeah. I'm gonna see what some of this stuff is on the ground over here.
Oh yeah, we need to show them our find back at the camper. We'll take you guys back there and show you something, because I made a comment a couple videos ago, and a little bit ironic what we found. So we went ahead and let the surveyor skedaddle. He gave us a few reference points over there, but basically they'll go back now and put together a map for us. And I'm you know, we have the legal description of the land already, but this will give us like specific places so that we know where we can put a fence in the future. One of the things we wanted to do while we were out here today was check the air pressure on our pressure tank that was out here. It is the brand that I like. It doesn't mean the bladder is not like dry rotted or something. We'll find out. But I recharged it to what it came shipped with already at 30 PSI or 31. If it maintained that, that's been, how long ago was that?
3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. It was just right after Rob was here. And I learned that night, I started looking into pressure tanks and the filtration system. Speaking of which, update on the water. We had the water test. If you're new, I'll just give you a quick rundown. We had a water test, called the county health department. They are able to do the bacteria test, and then they sent off to our state capitol for the metals test. Cadmium and lead are the primary concerns for this impact zone, this part of the county, and the lead came back very low, good numbers. Cadmium, there was a finding, but if it's less than, I believe it was 0.05 milligrams per liter of water, the EPA considers that something you can filter out just fine and make healthy drinking water out of it. We were at 0.02 milligrams per liter, so we got the thumbs up. We just got to get the pressure tank going, get not an overly robust filtration system, and of course we'll shock it for the bacteria that we mentioned in one of our other videos. So it's all really normal. It's good. As long as the flow rate remains good, well, then we can keep using this well. And that is a huge blessing, both on the timeline and financially. Okay, so let's check that pressure tank real quick before we go back up there. You read that? It's holding.
Well, that's fantastic.
I think this is a 30 gallon. I don't know how old this is, but I think the replacement for this guy at 30 gallons, close to $600 I think.
I thought you told me $600 or $700.
Well, if I had to buy a new one, I would have got a 44 gallon so that it holds a little bit more water before it kicks on the pump. If you're new to this, all this tank does is it takes in water, and there's a pressure switch that's on it that electronically tells the pump when to fill this guy up. So most of them 30 to 50 or 40 to 60 PSI, that's the kick in and the kick out rate. So when it drops down to 40 PSI, it starts filling back up with water by running the pump. And then when it gets to 60, it cuts out and stops. Then it holds that water till we use it again. And that way your pump isn't running continuously. It's just running when the pressure switch tells it to pump water up. That's a lot of words. Rob, I hope I'm making you proud, man.
I hope I comprehend all of that later whenever I watch this on there.
Here's the shorter version in case you wanted to use this instead. This is a pressure tank. It fills up with water, you use it. When it starts to get low, it tells the pump to pull more water up, fill this up, and that is how a pressure tank and a pump work. That's the skinniest version I can take.
That was a skinnier version.
Okay, I've done a lot of research to comprehend that. I could go into detail, but nobody wants to hear that.
here's a project that we have not done that I've been telling Kyle that we need to. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's bad.
So we need to cut into all of that, rip it out.
I don't want to talk about that right now. It could be functional without doing that. So at least we could have...
And rebuild our wheelhouse.
I don't want to talk about that right now. We've got plenty of projects to do to get out here. That one's not a necessity to get done before we get the camper out. Oh, so much to do. It's
a lot to do. It's always another project.
Yeah, we had it down to 3, remember?
Well...
That was just for Operation Get the Camper
That was just for Operation Get the Camper.
We're still at 3 on that one. So I've got some parts ordered for finishing this out. Shannon and I are debating calling a professional and just letting them come finish it out.
We really just want to do everything as quick as possible, and
I'm not that
we don't
guy.
know how to do everything, so calling people is where it's at for us.
Yeah. I'm at a level of comprehension enough that I could deduce something in the future, like what may be going wrong. But putting in net new and having to learn exactly what I need, all the fittings, step ups, step downs, blah, blah, blah. It's a little overwhelming, but.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got the survey today though.
That's great news.
One step closer, one day at a time.
One thing to check off our list.
Love it. Now if we could just learn how to see poison ivy, oak, and sumac. I've got to figure.
I don't know that we're gonna figure that one out.
We're going to. It's gonna happen. Survey says
more Virginia creeper.
That Virginia creeper would be creeping everywhere. Shannon is identifying things, trying to find poison ivy for me, because
that's poison ivy.
There's a poison ivy vine.
I knew that they had said the ones with fur on them.
So are there poison ivy leaves somewhere coming off of that? Ooh, what about down there?
I bet that's it right down there.
It would
Spider web?
make sense based on where I was weed eating that there's a ton of it over here.
Wait, Avens. So that says riverbank grape, which we have a whole lot of grapevine out here. Man, I hope we didn't hit any of that when we were on the 4-wheeler.
I'm sure we did. So, lesson learned today. And I know a lot of you guys know this, but if you don't, pay close attention. I am highly allergic to poison ivy, oak, sumac, whatever. And so we're trying to get better at identifying it. Check this out. Shannon has found some of those hairy vines. And so we saw this one as we were coming back up to the 4-wheeler. And sure enough, those vines right there are poison ivy. Deceitfully, the leaves that we see right here, right in our face, that look like they're a part of this tree, but they're not, because that's an oak. And that is not what oak leaves look like. Guess what that is? Poison ivy. And
I don't know that is an oak. What is that?
Yeah, look at the leaves.
Oh, here's the branches coming off.
But if I look up, guys, can you see this up here? All of those leaves right there, right here, way up there in the bright ones, that's poison ivy branches coming off of that vine that runs all the way up the tree. Those leaves sticking out right up there, those are not oak leaves. That is poison ivy. Huge poison ivy.
Now you guys can understand why we don't know what poison ivy is, because we see it and we think it's part of a tree, and then lo and behold, it's not.
Well, and I think at this point, you know, like I have never seen it this blatant, because we just, my eyes, we weren't in the country enough, you know, and
all that down there is poison ivy too.
But as I look around, these are all oaks. I think the vast majority of this stuff is poison ivy.
Well, I've been taking pictures of things down low, not up high.
Right, well, I mean, yeah, it grows on the ground, but those vines, they climb up those trees. Okay, so there's a new indicator. Keep an eye out for those vines, and then look and see, because you can tell that you see the vine there. If you look where it branches off right there, over here, follow that branch out, boom, that's all poison ivy. Same for over here. We're gonna find out how allergic I am. I used to, as a kid, I literally think I could get it carried in the wind. Don't ever burn it either, ever, because it does go with the smoke.
Dang.
Hey, we knew it was out here, I could never find where it was. My only concern now is, did we ride through the trail and hit trees like that?
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, I tried to duck and cover, but some of them we just had to rip right through. Well, we'll find out. Fortunately, we have a wonderful viewer. Ironically, just this morning we went to the P.O. box. We need to start opening the mail like in the video or something, you know, because she definitely deserves credit for what she sent us. But she sent a whole slew of poison ivy. It's like a pre, a post, and then just anytime pack. So it's got different bars of soap. Thank you so much. I will definitely be using that soap today because we just ripped through it. All right, I feel like our poison ivy education is growing. I think that's important.
I think it's super important.
Yeah. There's your lesson on poison ivy for the day.
Okay, this is hickory.
Which one?
The leaves are more smooth edged.
Okay.
And then this is elm. It has a real jagged leaf right there.
A little bit darker green.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trunks, the bark is a little bit softer, if you will, or a little more flush with the tree than that one. It looks to be a little more jagged. What is this? Is this a baby or is that poison ivy again? Everything's poison ivy till proven otherwise.
I don't think that's poison ivy.
No, I thought it was wondering if it was the beginning of an elm tree. Oh, it's
That's
blackberry.
blackberry.
Sweet. Yeah, that was from the earlier projects when we first got out here. All of this was overgrown. We actually shot, and Shannon may, if she can find the footage, we shot a video, our very first video, never made it to YouTube. And it was basically us walking around out here and exploring. If we can come up with that, comment down below if you guys would be interested in seeing some clips from that. I cannot promise that the filmmaking, production, audio, any of that is to the quality that it is today. I think it's good footage of what this all looked like before we got out here.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of this blackberry, we had to cut a lot of that out. There was a bunch way up there, up by the front of the road. There was a lot of blackberry up there, but it was out of control and I wanted this to all be mowable area. But this is good. This is why we're coming out here and learning this poison ivy and learning our trees, and now we know where the property line is.
Absolutely.
It's coming along. Let's get going. That's more poison ivy than I've ever seen in my life. Huh.
It's like overtaking the whole tree.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cut those vines. I wouldn't recommend this, especially if you're like highly allergic, but I got my gloves on, got my hatchet. I'm gonna cut those poison ivy vines down at the base or close to the base. Didn't you read somewhere about cutting vines at like chest level or something?
Yeah, but I didn't read that about poison ivy vines.
I know, but I wanna see if this kills it.
That makes me nervous, babe.
I'm just gonna chop it. I'm not gonna pull it. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna little chop.
I think this is a bad idea. Kyle's gonna get poison ivy.
I want to try. We gotta, I gotta learn my limitations. Okay, you've already made your statement so that you can give me the I told you so when I look like somebody with a terrible skin disease later, but... Oh, that's like...
Solid.
Trying to keep this stuff from flying on me. Yeah, you can like see some of the oils, and I don't know if it's just the moisture from... Okay, that is fully severed now. We'll start with that one. No, I'm doing the other one too. Okay. I don't know if there's any on the back side, but I'm not crawling back there. Doesn't look like it. I think it's just those two. So we'll see. I don't know if those, if those are the only two starting points. I'll be curious to see in the coming days and weeks if that kills those off. So yes, I know. I'm not touching the head of this hatchet. I will spray it real good when we get back to the camper. I'm gonna take the gloves off, not touch the outside of them. I have made my wife very nervous. She doesn't want to hear me complain and itch and be uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I just wanted to know how we can control it.
Nala wants to join for this one.
Nala's gonna be in this one. Hi, Princess. Can you say hi? You tell him you got your spa day yesterday? Got your furs did and everything? All right.
She didn't like the blow dryer, so
She did not like the blow
she's
dryer.
still shedding.
Still shedding. Didn't get the full effect. Well, we are back here at the campground. I am so excited to have that survey done so that we know our exact property lines.
Yes.
And now we're learning what poison ivy looks like. Because if you've been here for a while, you know I'm highly allergic. This one is not, which is great because I don't want her to suffer from that. And I don't know if it's poison ivy, oak, sumac, whatever, but we're gonna learn them, figure out what's on our land, how to take care of it.
And know what to avoid.
Yeah. I am happy to report. I didn't want you guys to stress over this. I didn't want Shannon to be right, but it's actually the next day. It's probably been about 32 to 34 hours since that last, when I cut the vines and the chips are flying, and don't worry about it. I don't have any new poison ivy, so that's good. That tells me that I'm not quite as allergic as I was when I was a kid. That stuff could blow on me in the wind.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. But here's kind of what started it. Aside from what we knew, me getting poison ivy consistently on our property, I came out one day. This is obviously Nala's domain. Right now, this is where we live. We're out at the campground, and we have to keep her out of something that I was looking, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what poison ivy looks like, but if I had to venture a guess, maybe it's that. This is right on the edge of our woods at the campground. All of that, guys, that's poison ivy. Whew. So the question now becomes, am I getting poison ivy from here when Nala, she's got a little shepherd in her, so she's a perimeter checker. So every morning when she goes to the bathroom or when we bring her out, you know, off of a leash, which we're not supposed to do at this campground, but whatever, look at her, she's a princess. She walks this perimeter line and we try to keep her out of it. We do have many trails where raccoons come out and she wants to sniff those the next day. It's actually, if you can see it, some of it's wilted a little bit right now. This was like flourishing and huge, and this whole wall just taken up by poison ivy. I don't even know if I can get it all in the shot. Glamour shot, you and poison ivy, why are you running? So I was out here with Nala and I got my little picture of this app out that we just absolutely love. And I took a picture of these and I was like, that's the biggest poison ivy I've ever seen. So I took a picture there, I took a picture here, took a picture here, all of it poison ivy.
I'll be real honest, I never knew that poison ivy leaves got that big and that that's what they looked like.
Yeah. And now we found it on our land in those vines. I have to go back and see if cutting those vines killed that stuff going up in that tree. I mean, I know that it will long term, but I'm just hopeful that it's soon. And then once it's dead, don't pretend like it ain't still gonna get you a rash. So I know better. I'm not gonna go yanking on it or anything. We're just gonna leave it be, let it die out and fall away. That's not a tree I need to climb or anything anyway. So yeah, poison ivy, now we know. Now we're getting better at identifying that. One other little incident, you know, it's not like we're already waiting for everything under the sun, getting the pressure tank going, getting everything working so that we can get out to the property. But the other night we had a little freak storm roll through that we didn't really know was coming, and we keep our awning out because it is so hot out here. The camper stays at about 86 degrees from about 11 a.m. till about 6:30, 7 o'clock p.m. every day. We have very little shade right here. Problem is, storm rolled in and it was like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I wake up to my wife panicking and like, honey, come here. And I'm like, whoa. You know, I don't wake up extremely well like that. We run outside.
It literally shook the whole camper though. The wind was so strong, it shook the whole camper. That's what woke me up.
So we ran out and sure enough, let me show you what happened. And these are just the things, you know, we have so much to do, guys, to get out to the land, and these are the things that stop us occasionally. I don't have my awning. It's up there.
On top of the camper.
On top of the camper. And the night that it came down, it was down in front of everything, and it just beat up everything to pieces that was down here. But Shannon and I came out, tried to fix it, tried to assess what's going on. We lost some screws, called people. They're 3 weeks out. So we're gonna do it ourselves. We're gonna figure this out. We went and got some replacement screws. We're gonna try that. We'll tell you how well that works or doesn't work.
Hopefully we're gonna do this ourselves.
Well, there's a pro and a con to using good microphones. Sometimes they can fail you, and ours failed us. So we had some footage, but we weren't able to, we had no audio for it. So here we are, next day, again. It has been a little bit over 48 hours and I don't have poison ivy. So apparently chopping the vine, totally fine. Being close to that over there, also okay. One thing that I didn't get to show you because it didn't have audio was I had my truck full. Everything you could imagine under the sun that we take out to the land. And because we have the camper and we have so many tools and different projects we got to do, we just leave it all in the truck. Yes, my miles per gallon suffers. But last night I pulled everything out. We had some oil down in the bed that Shannon had to go and spray out for me. And then when she got back, she helped me organize and get stuff back into it. Look how great she did. I know, it probably looks like chaos to you, but to us, what it did look like compared to what it looks like now, huge improvement. Plus we got some of those stackable toolbox things, and we're gonna try those out and see if they help us stay a little better organized. Obviously, still didn't get a chance to do the awning yesterday. You know, we just get busy and we get distracted. Be sure and come back for future videos. I do have the excavator coming tomorrow, and I'm gonna trench the power and the water from the well house, transformer, over to the campsite and all that stuff. So once I get that trenched, then we'll have some drain rock and base rock brought out so we can get that pad and hopefully some of the driveway too ready for the camper. So we're making progress, guys. The water test came back good. We now know what poison ivy looks like. We're getting better at identifying it, finding it, and staying out of it. The truck is organized, got the excavator coming. It's all coming together. And we're gonna keep trying to make progress as fast as we can to get the camper out there. One other thing, Shannon and I got our first experience of a livestock auction. I'll tell you about that in our next video, give you a little update. We'll let you know if we got anything or not. You may already know, I don't know. You do know, you just don't know you know. Anyway, that thing was so much fun. We'll talk more about that. We look forward to going to more in the future. If you guys are new here, we appreciate you coming by. If you like what you see, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. If you've been with us, we love and appreciate you. We love your feedback, we love the comments, and we really appreciate that you keep coming back. Thank you so much. As always, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.